We should be eminently proud this evening, profoundly proud, because as you all know, our leader, Jesus Christ, made it to the Super Bowl this year. Remember, those of you who watched the game? It's too bad San Francisco didn't win. Remember, in about 7 minutes into the first quarter, there was a commercial showing people having their feet washed by other people, outcasts of society, the poor, people of different orientations, immigrants, prisoners. Then at the end of the commercial, the words came across the screen: Jesus did not teach hate. Jesus washed feet. Jesus gets us. Now, a 30-second commercial at the Super Bowl was $7 million. This commercial was 1 minute long, so it was $14 million. The Southern Poverty Law Center of Montgomery, Alabama sponsored it. It's a great law firm that is doing marvelous, marvelous pro bono work for the poor, the outcasts, those who cannot afford lawyers. Wonderful work they're doing for many years, washing feet. By chance, if tomorrow we say to someone, "Oh, last night we washed feet," or if at the conclusion of this liturgy this evening, there is no follow-up to the symbol of washing feet, then what we do here tonight is a fragmented rite. Tonight is about reliving the memory of our leader, Jesus Christ. The Rabbi Jesus speaks to us in the pages of the gospel book, in the basin, in the pitcher, in the towel, in the Eucharist of bread and wine. Jesus definitely wants to be remembered, and perhaps more so in washing of the feet. As I have washed your feet like a slave, so you must wash the feet of each other and serve one another. As I have loved you without limit or condition, so must you love one another without condition. As I am about to suffer and die for you, so you must suffer and die, if necessary, die for one another. Think of the late Alexei Navalny. He knew what the ultimate price was going to be, what the ultimate reality would be, and yet, nevertheless, he returned to his motherland and paid the despicable price. This evening, I believe that Jesus does not necessarily demand gigantic, dynamic washing of feet, extraordinary acts. I believe that we should look at washing of feet from a point of view of our ability, namely random acts of kindness. Simple, everyday, random acts of kindness. I would like to suggest this evening that washing of the feet is all about. Random acts of kindness. So that's what I offer to you this evening. So we take this profound but simple lesson from a very down-to-earth pastoral bishop on Holy Thursday night many years ago at the Cathedral Church in Pueblo, Colorado. A very, very alert deacon, and they're not all alert. The deacon at the Mass leaned towards Bishop Charles Buswell and said, "Bishop, I don't see any water pitchers. I don't see any towels." And the bishop assured the deacon that everything was under control. And after his homily, the bishop left the sanctuary and he walked up and down the main aisle, randomly extended his hand to 6 women and 6 men, and escorted them personally to the chairs in front of the altar. And when all 12 were seated, Bishop Buswell removed his chasuble, retrieved a shoe shine kit, and he then proceeded to apply polish and then brush the shine and shine each shoe of those he had invited. A random act of kindness. Washing feet. The creative bishop clearly demonstrated to everyone present in a modern act of service that a simple, ordinary gesture of kindness can manifest. Washing feet. Shining shoes. 10 years ago this evening, our wonderful, pastoral, saintly, dynamic Pope Francis washed the feet of Christians, Jews, Muslims, thieves, prisoners, murderers, not in the opulent beauty of St. Peter's Basilica, but in a dark, dusty Roman prison. A deafening symbol, washing feet. Now, about a month ago or so, I shared in one of my homilies my neighborhood, where I live in Green Valley. Now, perhaps some of you were at that liturgy, and I have to apologize, and I'm going to repeat some of this stuff because it's very relevant in what I am proposing this evening. Washing feet is sufficient when we do random acts of kindness. It's an ordinary neighborhood I live in. It isn't gated. The only bad thing about it is there's no kids there. You have to be 55, 60 years old. A variety of people in their 80s and 90s. Bill Hill lives across the street. Bill is a Vietnam veteran. Moved in about 2 years ago, knocked on my door, and he says, "Hello, I hear your name is Joe." I says, "That's right, my name is Joe." And he said, "If you need anything, Joe, give me a call. My wife's name is Paula, because that's what neighbors are for, Joe." On Fridays, Bill goes up and down the street and returns the empty garbage barrels to their owners' garage doors. And he often picks up the morning paper that God knows where the paper boy threw it and places it closer to the front door of the houses of the neighbors. Bill also reaches out to people who need help with their iPhones and computers. Bill knows where the hidden key is to my house. just in case. Maureen, my next-door neighbor, is blind in one eye. She's in a wheelchair. She is in need of much attention. Husband died about 10 years ago. 9 operations in 11 years. She's a tough Brooklyn Irish gal. When she sees me walking on the sidewalk, she says, "Hey, Father Joe, where you going?" It's the kind of gal she is. I pick up her mail for her every day. I bring the Eucharist to her when it's convenient. We text each other every morning. She usually texts me first because she gets up first to make sure that we're still alive. Lorraine lives on the other side of Maureen's. She goes shopping virtually every day for Maureen. Lorraine is probably 86 years old, 87 years old. And on Thursday nights, she takes out the garbage barrels for Maureen and puts them on the sidewalk. Paula, Bill's wife, besides fighting cancer, paying her insurance, pays $22,000 a month for 14 pills. Paula makes sure that Maureen takes her medicine, and for the past 3 months, Paula went over to Maureen's house every 2 hours to put drops in her right eye. A couple of months ago, Paula noticed that Krispy Kreme in our area had a gigantic sale. And so Paula goes and buys 10 dozen of donuts. And then she went door to door sharing her fortune with her close neighbors. Leon, he lives across the street from Maureen. He's also a Vietnam veteran. He informed all of us that he is available to take care of irrigation clocks, changing batteries in smoke detectors, and replacing light bulbs. Joyce, who lives next to Leon, she's about 85, 86 years old. She keeps a sharp eye on Maureen and makes sure she doesn't go up and down the sidewalk with her wheelchair because she's had a couple of spills. And on my right of my house, Tony and Ann moved in from West Covina, California, about a couple of years ago. Tony's from Cuba, and his wife, Ann, is from Guatemala. Tony came to my house and introduced himself and says, "I'm a pretty handy man, Joe, and I offer you and any neighbor anything I can do for them around the houses. Change filters, air filters, etc." He also knows, like Bill, where the hidden key is to my house, just in case. Ann, his wife, is a great baker. Again, she's from Guatemala. And she shares her bake products with us, but she has a terrible problem. She doesn't bake enough. Ann is having open heart surgery tomorrow at 11 o'clock in LA. So what? So we know where you live, we know some of the people, so what? Nothing extraordinary, right? I don't think Jesus expects extraordinary things from us. Just random acts of kindness washing feet. Theologian Michael Himes of Boston College once said, "Whatever humanizes, divinizes, is a fundamental precept of our Catholic tradition." Now, what he meant is this. In other words, whenever we enhance the dignity and the beauty of the humanity of another person, when we reach out to that person, when we help to make that person, or when we reach out, we help to make that person divine. That's a beautiful Christian precept, not from me, but from an astounding theologian at Boston College. And a couple of weeks ago, on February 18th, on national news, so wonderful that once in a while we get on the news, a report of a group of students at DePaul University in Chicago started an impressive movement on campus. They set up an agency on campus ground to help find employment for immigrants and to help immigrants getting settled in their new country, their new city. Nothing extraordinary, just random acts of kindness, washing feet. And all this sensitive, charitable action, this reaching out, these random acts of kindness is, I believe, and also know that Bishop Charles Buswell believed years ago, and I am sure that Jesus Christ, our host this evening, believes, is washing feet. So go, my brothers and sisters, go and do likewise. Wash feet, and don't forget, it doesn't end here.